Yeah, I'm so extra. Express myself, I'm next up. Yeah, more do say. Coming up. Yeah. Come up now. Can't stop me. Come on. You coming up.
Hello, welcome to the House of Peach. I am one of the amazing hosts. I am Morgan Harvey, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. And welcome to another amazing Tuesday. Obviously, I am doing this solo today, so I am missing my other half. But April is taking care of some business. And so I am here today and super excited about our guest and to be able to carry a very interesting conversation, which, sometimes can be taboo. But at the same time, I think can also be very enlightening and educational. So, we normally start off our show with, how was your week or how are you feeling? So I'm like, my eyes are all up in the air because I'm really trying to take in for a minute and say, how exactly am I feeling? I'm fine. I can't complain. Things have slowed down just a little bit. I've had an amazing, little baby boom. And so now it's just been doing a lot of postpartum check-ins, making sure everybody's good, returning placentas. Some should be expecting some in the mail as well. And now just honing on the end of the school year, seeing as though, school year is wrapping up. You guys know that I homeschool my boys, but also have a homeschool co-op. So, thinking about field day, end of the year, for our older students, what exactly do they want to do as far as high school or, nearing the end of middle school, all that kind of stuff. We've got some new students coming in. So how exactly can we fill those needs and what parent participation looks like, all that good stuff. So a little busy, but it's all good and I'm excited. Again, I miss my friend, but I'm excited to be able to have her back soon. But today, as you guys can already see, as far as our title, sorry, brain fart for a second, for our title for today, Cannabis Saved My Life. Cannabis is something that is very taboo. Here in Delaware, it did become legalized with still a lot of tape. There are some amazing organizations like Delaware Normal who work very hard and tirelessly to help with forming legislation when it comes to justice and reform, when it comes to, a lot of the laws that's around it. And, to try to dispel a lot of stigmas. Depending, I guess, on when you were born, how you were raised, you were either completely pro-cannabis or anti-cannabis. A lot of times when you are having certain jobs, they do not allow any kind of drug use. So even if cannabis was something that could possibly help you, you couldn't even be able to do that. I have even, watched documentaries with people where cannabis could possibly help in, certain illnesses. And like if, for instance, you have a kidney transplant or you need a kidney transplant, you cannot use cannabis, but it is something that, someone who is dealing with some issues might decide that is what works for them. So I'm super excited to talk to our guest today because she has a personal connection when it comes to cannabis. Hello to my friends that are jumping on over here. Try to make sure that, we see all screens. So hey, Lindsay, hey, Rosa. But yeah, we are going to talk to our amazing guest today about how cannabis specifically has saved her life. what advocacy and education looks like, a lot of those taboo conversations that's around cannabis, and really just get to know the amazing person that she is. So, cannabis is the reason why I do know this amazing, amazing woman. Let alone she is the person behind my shirts. So if you guys ever see me out and you see my got placenta shirt, which I always get a lot, a lot of conversation over, or you see, my shirts, whatever you do with the doula. I even had shirts for my own clients that was just like, hey, I had a dope doula, and she even processed my placenta because majority of them I do. So she is the person behind my shirts. She is the person behind a lot of shirts and a lot of products. So we've got creativity as well as a whole lot more. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you guys my friend Lizzie.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, girl, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good. How are you?
Good. I cannot complain. It's a good day. So, sunny outside. Did you get a chance to be outside?
I did. We went out. I actually took Amy, my 16-year-old, to Legislative Hall today.
Oh, what'd you guys
So
do out there?
um, there was actually a couple bills. I sent you the one about
Yes.
doulas,
Yeah.
and it passed committee, so that's exciting. They're going to approve doulas be covered by Medicaid, so that is
Yeah.
exciting. The real reason I was there was to speak against HB 408,
Okay.
which is a bill that we fought against with legalization to not allow the current medical dispensaries to convert to adult use dispensaries. This bill that they're fast tracking is what would allow those conversion licenses. So they are going to try to put this bill forward where the current medical dispensaries would be able to purchase a conversion license and start adult use sales before any other licenses, including social equity, small business, all of that.
Gotcha. Wow, that's a whole lot to unpack
Yeah.
in and of itself. And the fact that you took your 16-year-old too. So, high five to my fellow homeschool mom right there. But yeah, I was like, so before we even dive into that, because I have a couple of questions on that. I guess introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, minus all of these titles and layers.
Okay. So I'm Lizzie Golub. My name is legally Lizzie Golub. I changed it on 4/20/22, I think. So that was pretty cool. And I have lived in Delaware 5 years almost. Moved from Gettysburg, PA. So a little bit of a different atmosphere, but I love being near the water. Um, and I really feel like Delaware has become home, and I've met a lot of great people like you and advocacy groups, and made a lot of really good friends. So yes, I just like to make friends and socialize and enjoy the natural plant with like-minded people. Um,
I feel you on that. So let's just dive right on in. This bill, why, I guess, is it important to not allow, I guess, these medical dispensaries to be able to have that conversion first?
so first reason is it would give them an advantage over the market if they open before everybody else. So we really wanted to hold on to the social equity aspect of the bill, and that they're going to get X amount of licenses and open at the same time as everybody else and have a fair chance. If these dispensaries are allowed to open and people start going and visiting that market, they may not want to try a new market when it comes. So
Understood.
that would, that um, they currently cannot even keep up with the patient demand. They like during COVID, it was a whole mess of people standing in line for products. and get inside, and they ran out. So, that's, if we can't meet patient demand, how are they going to meet adult use demand?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I guess, can we talk a little bit right now about just medical use? So, there are a lot of people who are like medical use, medical use. This is just an excuse for you to say you want to get high or smoke some pot. What are what are some reasons that someone would use marijuana or cannabis medicinally?
So that's a great question. I am a card holder. That's my dog. Um, I have been a card holder since I was living in Pennsylvania. I joined that medical system, and I was prescribed opiates since a car accident in 2009. I was prescribed opiates until I retired from teaching in 2016 and stopped taking my opiates and decided enough was enough. I had to find better alternative. And they say, a friend with weed is a friend indeed. And a friend introduced me to some weed, and it did absolute wonders for my chronic pain. And I have fibromyalgia, and
Okay.
it does wonders for mental health as well. I've had PTSD for a while, since a child, and it really has helped with my mental health and physical health. So, that's why I became a patient, and I know a lot of others have been able to be off of prescriptions because of cannabis. And if you ask my husband, I'm a complete different person than being on opiates, ruining my life, than I am on
Mm,
cannabis.
interesting. So, can you talk about, I guess, a little bit more about the difference between that opiate feel and, I guess, even the side effects, like you were saying? So, for your husband to be able to see a big difference, what does that look like?
So I would go to work, and I taught pre-K, and I would come home, take my medicine, and fall asleep and not spend any time with the family.
Mm,
Since switching to cannabis, depending on the strain I'm using, you have your sativas give you energy. If I do that during the day, I'm able to spend time with my family. Indica for sleep, help you with pain and fall asleep. So it's getting to know what products work for you and what strains work for you
mm.
as well.
How long did it take for you to find, I guess, what works best for you?
Um,
Or is it like something that's, ever changing?
it is kind of ever changing, because
Okay.
just like you can get used to a prescription, you can get
Mm,
used to a strain. So
right.
you actually kind of need to switch it up a little bit, every now and then.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So as a mom and a spouse, what, I guess, one, what does your husband think as far as cannabis? Obviously, he can see how it's beneficial for you, but there can be people from the outside that might not necessarily understand what's going on, and so they've got, so how does your husband and how does, like, even say your daughter deal with the fact that, obviously you being open for advocacy, speaking out, how do they deal with this or feel about it?
My family has been really great supporters, my immediate family. And I'm very thankful that, when I started being an advocate, my husband was like, okay, and he came with me a few times to Legislative Hall. So that was great. Um, and he's really joined in, and he's open. He uses CBD for his health in
Mhm.
various reasons. So he is a consumer of cannabis products as well, with CBD. And just the kids see how much more I am with them in their lives, and I'm able to be around now that I am switched from opiates to cannabis. So it really is just a difference of being an active mom and involved to just being,
Not present. They got their mom back.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So job wise, what are you doing now?
Um, so I guess I, s- I was just looking actually when I started this journey, and it was about 5 years ago, right after I moved to Delaware, I started getting into crafting again. Um, and I got another Cricut cut and I started making Cricut cut shirts and a couple of people bought them and I was like, okay, this is cool. And started making my own designs. People were liking them. And then I was like, okay, I can do this, and started doing festival shirts and got my own direct to film printer. So now I'm able to print my own designs instead of using the Cricut cut and weeding out all the scraps. I can just directly print and heat press it, and it comes out beautiful. And it's really grown. I'm thankful for all the support that I've had.
Yeah, absolutely. What's it like starting, I guess, your own business from, having a traditional job? Like that's definitely different than a preschool teacher.
It is. So, my husband and I had started a business when we lived in Gettysburg,
Okay.
right after Laney was born, because he had lost a job, and we decided he was going to stay home with Laney, cost of daycare, and we found a business opportunity. So he was running that store, and soon after we moved to Delaware, we decided to close it down and, um, try something different. So it's just really taken a spin of the type of products we're offering. I wasn't doing my own crafting at the old store. Um, Now I am. So it's really giving me more of a purpose too. I feel like I'm able to get up and accomplish things and produce something beautiful for people. So it gives me a really good feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And so are you saying that now you work with your husband? So like the two of you guys are in business together?
Yes. So he's
Oh, that's so
does
awesome. That's
like,
so crazy. I don't know why I never really like asked that, but like that, that's cool. So so I always ask people because I always get the question too, like, so what's it like working with your husband? Like, is there a time where you guys stop the shop talk and just talk home talk? Like, is there home talk in the
yeah.
shop talk?
It's
Like,
kind of like it gets mixed in, I guess, just like throughout. We're constantly like, oh, do we need ink? Okay, let's go ahead and order it. Whenever it pops up, and you know, we can print shirts and talk about the kids. So it kind of just gets mixed in. He has a regular job as well, so it's more.
okay,
He's a supporter. He gives me ideas. Definitely, he's like, "Oh, this would be a cool shirt idea. Go and run with it."
okay.
um, and my financial advisor.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So what that's very interesting actually. So how do you take direction well?
For the most part, I do, but sometimes I do have to say, Mark, have you made a shirt before? But actually, he now has, because
Okay.
I had to go to Washington D.C. and advocate federally, and it was right before 420.
Mhm.
I said, honey, I'm going. Please print out 20 more shirts. And I talked him through it. So he's awesome. He did that.
Awesome. That is awesome. So now with those 20 shirts, he at least might have a little bit more of an idea when he when he starts having some conversations of what goes into it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Especially when you need those extra shirts. It's like, I know I only need 50, but let's do 60 just in case like a few of them kind of come out crooked or, we don't like the color, whatever.
Yeah.
So troubleshooting and stuff. That
Yeah.
is absolutely that's awesome. So for those people who I guess don't know the basics of cannabis, can you give, I guess, a little Canna 101.
Okay, so let's start at the very basic. It is a plant, and it is not a crime to smoke pot because whether you believe in God, whatever, but the seed came to the earth and it's grown. Okay, it's not synthetic unless you're buying something weird, but it's a plant. And that's why I decided to switch from man-made pills to a plant. It's what our body needs. Our body naturally has endocannabinoid receptors and wants it. So that's the basics. And I think anybody should have a right to consume, whether they want it in their body or not. So there are different types of cannabis strains. You might have heard me say that word tonight, strains, and that would be the type of seed you're grown. And different strains can do different things. Just like I said, we have sativas, give us energy, uplifting. Indicas can help us relax, can be a muscle relaxant. I switched off of a muscle relaxant to cannabis. Um, and then you have a mix in between of hybrids. And it does sometimes take trial and error to figure out what strain works. So, I mean, you could try one strain and it works for this, and then another strain and it works for that. So, I don't know. And
Is
you're
there such thing as overdosing?
Nobody has died from cannabis. I'm glad you brought it up. That is a good point that I usually do make. Nobody has died from cannabis. But what can kill you is alcohol and Tylenol and cigarettes that are perfectly legal everywhere in the United States. So that is, part of the reason why I do fight for cannabis to be legal federally as well, because nobody has died from it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why? I guess let's talk about being a canna mom for a minute. Um, what? Why do you think that there is such a stigma around cannabis use and mothers?
Um,
Or you know what? No, we already know why. What would you like to say in response
um,
to the naysayers as far as cannabis users that happen to be mothers?
that is a pretty hot topic.
Yeah,
I will say I did used to be the mom who would have some drinks on the weekend. And not always in front of the kids, but occasionally, and I still do. If I go out to dinner, I might get a drink, but I do not drink as much since switching to cannabis. And so I it is a big stigma of it's okay to go and drink and get drunk in front of your kids and act however drunks act. But as parents and other people in this world still do not understand that it is okay to smoke in front of children. Um, you know,
yeah.
it,
Like I have a question. So, like, what's the difference? What's the difference between smoking a cigarette in front of a child and smoking a joint in front of a child?
right, exactly, because one does have carcinogens and bad things that can kill you, and one does not.
Right.
And I think it's just educating people more with advocacy that they need to understand that it is just a plant. And if you're smoking the natural plant herb, then it's not going to be harmful. I'm not the mom that smokes and blows in their kid's face, obviously,
Right.
I'm not going to do that. I tend to just go outside. And, when the kids aren't around, but it does need to be more normal kids being around cannabis consumers.
I guess as a parent, I don't you don't even I guess have to specify as a mom, but just as a parent in general, how how is your I guess how is your experience altered? How is your parenting altered? How is How was the parenting experience altered? You know what I mean? Like pre-smoking, post-smoking.
I mean, I feel like I'm more laid back. Um, I'm able to interact more with my kids and do things. I don't know. They think I'm the cool mom. Their friends come over and interact, and so that's neat. And um, just really in being there for them. I mean, that's really changed.
Do you think that cannabis has made you a lax parent, like one that has no boundaries or more lax boundaries, or you find yourself not disciplining where, you know, others may feel like you should?
Possibly. I mean, I do tend to let more stuff slide than maybe other. I don't know. We
I mean, it's all, these
we
are
all
all
know
obviously
teenagers,
personal
right?
questions. Yeah, absolutely. And I was, but I mean, exactly. Like you said, you have teenagers. And I mean, we're all parenting and learning parenting, completely different. You know what I mean? Everything works for different, people. Sometimes I've even seen kids who sometimes I'm like, you don't even need a parent. Have you ever seen like some of those kids who like parent themselves? Like,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
I have a couple of friends who like have like super amazing kids where I'm like, you could leave and come back and you like
I
golden.
have. Yes. I left my two oldest when I went on my cruise and came back and the house was great. So, you know.
See, exactly. That's what I'm excited
Mhm.
about to be able to get to that next level where it's not just, you go around the corner to the grocery store or, I've got to go to a client's house real quick, but I can now go on vacation and know that they're good when I come back. Lindsay was saying, yes,
Well,
it helps me be more of a patient parent,
definitely.
enhances my creativity and play with my child. I love that. It seems like you were saying, Lizzie, it allows you to be more present, and even for you dealing with like actual physical discomfort and stuff like that at times, really allows you to actually physically be more present rather than feeling like you have to be laid up in the bed. So I appreciate your vulnerability. I know that is that, like you said, it's a hot topic, but it is very taboo. um I know that there's a lot of people who don't, say too much. I have in my work, I deal with a lot of moms who they come to the table now pregnant and wondering about, cannabis use and, is there information and, all of this kind of stuff. And I feel like it's necessary, like you said, to educate yourself. You do what you feel is best for you and your body. Um, and like I said, there's tons of research that's out there. So whether it's, depending on where you are in this parenthood journey, it shouldn't be, I also feel like it shouldn't be taboo to have, conversations. And so sometimes I'll be the one to bring it up to my clients because, like how many times have you been to the doctor's office and they ask you like certain things and you like lie or you don't say anything, but now you go home and you're wondering and you're like, I don't know how this would affect me. So again, like I said, I appreciate you at least sharing your experience. Obviously, it's different for everyone. Thank you, Lindsay, as well for putting um, your experience out there because motherhood or just parenthood in general is the most
Yeah.
beautiful hood you could ever be a part of, but the most ghetto hood we could be a part of too. Like it's all parts of ghetto
Well,
here sometimes. you
yeah.
know? And so, to be able to find some kind of relief, if that's what you need it for. I have had some parents where they have said it literally has made them a better parent. It has slowed them down enough to be able to hear their children when they're speaking. It has allowed them to be more empathetic. more in touch with their own feelings at the time. And, I love what Lindsay said about, being able to play a little bit more with your child as well. It's almost like some of those worldly and social inhibitions get to be wiped away for a moment, and to be able to, I think, give your child that is a beautiful gift as well. So yes. So what, I guess, is on your docket for advocacy? What does advocacy look like for you? What is an area that you seem, that you're very passionate about? And what, I guess, where are you wanting to go next with this?
So I am writing to federal level to get it descheduled. It is, up and federally for removing it from one schedule to another, but it would be great if it would just deschedule altogether. So I'm working on that, and just locally, hopefully they don't do this conversion bill, and trying to get the regulations and the licensing out for us to start having a market would be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What would it take for someone who is a grower to possibly, be included in this small business, or to, if nothing else, be able to help with the demand, even if it's just state side?
So there's 3 license types. There's cultivation, retail, and manufacturing. So they would have to apply for a license. And I believe the commissioner today said they were coming out September 1st, and license would start being issued in November.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. At where exactly is Delaware right now as far as legalization? Like, when we say that cannabis is legal in Delaware, what exactly does that mean?
So it is legalized. You can possess up to 1 ounce on your person, is the legal limit. There is nowhere for adults without a medical card to purchase it. So, it leaves Delaware, a lot of people going to other surrounding states to purchase.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That says a lot in and of itself. Because
because I live right on the Maryland border, right near Ocean City and Salisbury. So I know some of my neighbors, especially the older neighbors I meet, have said, "Oh, I'm going to the Ocean City dispensary." I'm like, okay, if that's your option.
Right. So it just seems like, obviously, this isn't something that, we can stop. This is something that is a need. And the fact that it seems like there are more people who are wanting to turn, well, it doesn't seem, it's apparent that there are more people who want to turn more holistic than to be, I guess, more into the big pharma and whatever medications are possibly prescribed. What does it look like to use cannabis responsibly?
Definitely have it in a safe, locked location away from children is the first thing of responsible cannabis use. And know your limits. I mean, maybe there's a such thing as getting too high. I've not experienced that much. So just know your limits. And I tend to, stay under. Don't drive high.
Say it again.
Do not drive high. We do not promote smoking and driving.
Exactly. That's definitely a hard pass. And when starting, so let's just say, I'm going to give you 2 scenarios. Okay. I am a 54-year-old woman who is, recently divorced and getting into like a whole bunch of hobbies and whatnot. and she meets a younger gentleman who is like, "Hey, do you want to smoke?" And she's like, "I've never smoked before at all." What? I
Don't
guess.
do anything with it. Yes.
Don't do anything with equipment either. There you go. Yes, Mike. Exactly. No, no operating heavy machinery either. What I guess in this age bracket now for someone who may be older, like you said, maybe your neighbors or whatnot, who may have never used it before, but are interested in using it, where would they start? What kind of information? Who could they ask? That kind of stuff.
So that's a great question. It is hard to know where to start. You kind of, I talked to some friends and they kind of pointed me in the right direction. Sometimes if you go into a dispensary, depending on the dispensary, they can give you information and help you select some products. I find a website called Leafly is a great resource. It has like different strains on there and the effects that other people have reported to them. So just Google is your friend. Look, if you're looking for certain symptom reliefs, Google what strain would help and then go and find it.
Absolutely. So can you list some things that I guess, oh, so my side, that was one scenario. So the second scenario is you are a parent and you have been hearing that CBD use might be good for, your child, and of course, that there's vape pens and all these things that are going around. So one, how do you talk to your child about, vape pens and what their friends may be doing? And two, how would you talk to a parent who might be considering CBD use for their child for medical reasons?
Great question. I do talk to parents about using CBD. I take CBD tincture to my shows to sell, and I have recommended it. It is great for kids, um, but you should also talk to your doctor about that as well before adding a supplement to a regimen, and just to do your research. And there's different types of CBD. So really do your research on what type of CBD you're getting.
Absolutely. So what you're also saying is not all CBD is created the same. And so you need to be an educated consumer in where you're getting your CBD from as well.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. I guess for those who don't know, what is the difference between THC and CBD?
Okay. CBD will not get you high. It is part of the plant that does not get you high. It's not psychoactive. THC is the psychoactive part of the plant. It will get you high. And CBD can be great for like inflammation. It can be great for a variety of things, anxiety, mood, and THC can be a great benefit for those things as well. So sometimes I use a mix of CBD and THC, and it just, all blended together really helps.
Awesome. Awesome. I do know some amazing, amazing businesses that have that sell CBD products. Um, we've got some amazing ones that are here in Delaware, and I do believe actually one of our former guests has a place in Maryland as well. I still haven't gone to check her out, but I will most definitely do that as well. If we wanted to get a shirt, if we wanted to shop some of your stuff, or be able to order something custom, how exactly would people be able to contact you?
Through the Facebook page or Instagram, Lit by the Sea is the Facebook page or Instagram or TikTok. And we have a YouTube now too. So we've been doing some demonstrations of like printer maintenance and making shirts and things. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lit by the Sea, you guys, and her t-shirts. When I say they're lit, they're lit. I buy sweatshirts, t-shirts, all that kind of stuff. You guys get a shirt from me. You are getting it from Lizzie. I had one last question for you. But while I'm remembering that, is there anything that you would like to tell people? Is there any, last words, any kind of encouragement that you would like to share?
Um, I don't know. We covered a lot.
We did.
Just that if you are a cannabis consumer, know you're not alone, and reach out and find other cannabis consumers, because it's great to be around like-minded people who enjoy cannabis as much as you do.
I love that. I love that. So find friends that like to do things that you like to do. There are some awesome events that surround cannabis that happen throughout the Delaware state. Can you, I guess, maybe if you know some, whether it's, you advocating, any kind of education, obviously, our one that's coming up in September.
Yes, we have from Delphi Group. Wheat Stock is September 13th, Friday the 13th, pretty cool. And Saturday the 14th, camp into the 15th. And that's pretty exciting. So September 13th, 14th, 15th is Wheat Stock this year. There is another event Mike is pointing out, Weekend at Bertha's, the last weekend in July. That's pretty cool. And
Weekend at Bertha's is a family-friendly camping event, you guys. That's in Towns, and you don't want to miss that. That's definitely all the rage.
And if you want to check out some of our other products, I will be at Karma Fest August, I think 1st through 3rd. It is first weekend of August, and that's at Hudson Fields in Milton, Delaware, near the beach.
Okay. Oh, nice. Beach. That's awesome. Mike also said, let's see, nausea, anxiety. Why can't I see everything he's saying? Nausea, anxiety, pain management. So these are all things that we can do.
Yes.
Throwback to Grateful Dead. Yeah. So, what's a throwback to Grateful Dead?
Weekend at Bertha's.
Oh, Weekend at Bertha's. Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate you. Hey, Mike. Mike is another amazing vendor, flowers in food. He does amazing edible treats. I don't do mint and chocolate, but his cookies are bomb. So you guys definitely, like I said, Weekend Flowers and Food is great. Lit by the Sea. Lizzie, I appreciate you coming and allowing me to just, throw a lot of different questions at you. You sharing personally about your life, and how cannabis has definitely helped you really bring you to the table. I'm glad that you are present. I'm so glad to, honestly know you. You guys, if you have the pleasure of ever meeting her, when I tell you like the sweetest soul, like you can just, I was like, you feel it. I get excited when I see you. Again, I appreciate you. Thank you for all of the Delaware Normal and Delfire and Delaware Loves Cannabis and everybody else that has joined us for this evening. Hey to a couple of other folks that have come in here. Hey, Liz, how are you? So, thanks for joining us, you guys. And next week we will be back. It is the last Tuesday of May. And we like to get a little controversy going on with our he said, she said. So make sure you guys tune in. If you want to be a part of the conversation, please do. The topic, I will let you guys know now since we have people up here. The topic is going to be, can you love two people at the same time? Exactly. So I want male perspectives. I want female perspectives. I don't care who it is. I don't care what color you are. I don't care I don't care. I want everyone's everything. Our only rule is we don't yuck anybody's yum. Okay. So come respectful and ready to really just, be able to share and have good conversation. This is how we learn from each other. This is how we have fun. And, nothing is ever off the table. So, we would love to have you. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe. We've got that nice QR code in the corner that will allow you to know if there's any kind of events that we have going on, that will, let you guys know when we're coming live again, when you can see the next episode, all that good stuff. So make sure that you do that. We appreciate you guys, and I will see you next Tuesday.
Thank
Bye.
you for having me.
Thanks again.
Yeah, I'm so extra. Express myself, I'm next up. Yeah, more do say. Coming up. Yeah, come on.